You should just tell your kids that their parent cheated. That's what they said.
I hope that's not what you said.
That's not what I said. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Anyways, no. This is Crap Therapists Say, where we ask you, the viewer, to submit to us bad advice you got from therapists. Obviously, we love therapy. We love therapists. I'm highly invested in that. But not all advice is great. And we had someone write in who said that the therapist told them, okay, you're getting a divorce.
Yep.
Kids are asking why. Go ahead and tell the kids your spouse cheated.
Yeah, no.
Why not?
No.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
No way this goes bad.
No way. So here's the thing. And if you watched any of our other videos on divorce, and I've lived this reality, when a marriage isn't going to work, right? And divorce is the solution that both partners have decided on. The most important thing in that playing out in a healthy way is to focus on the children.
And what's best for them.
And what is best for the children.
Somebody please think of the children!
And the false belief out there is that, you should stay together for the kids, or the divorce is going to be most devastating for the children. But in reality, what's most devastating is the level of conflict in the relationship, right? And so decreasing that conflict, and divorce can be a healthy thing. And I'm not saying...
So can staying married, right?
Yeah. So I'm not saying, go ahead and get a divorce. But what needs to be worked through is the level of conflict in the relationship.
There is no conflict.
And then what needs to be focused on during the divorce and post-divorce is what is best for the children.
Right.
And what is often best for the children, as long as they have two fairly healthy parents, right? Like the small exception is going to be abusive.
Well, before you give the exception, finish your sentence.
Oh.
Because you're giving an exception to a principle you haven't said yet. So.
Details.
So when you have two emotionally healthy parents,
The most important thing is that they have both parents involved in their lives, and they have healthy relationships with both parents, regardless of what one or both parents might have done in the marital relationship or outside of the marital relationship.
Right.
No matter what the parents did inside, or for that matter, outside the marital relationship.
Right. And in most cases, as you're saying, the most important thing for the kids is that they have a relationship with both parents and that the parents support that. I've said over and over, if you're getting a divorce, the purpose of that should be a ceasefire. If you're getting a divorce and you're fighting just like you did when you were married, what are you getting divorced for? Because it's equally miserable either way, right? And so if you're getting a divorce, a big part of that should be the conflicts of the past and the pains of the past should be left in the past. And if they can't be, like in the case of an affair, like if there's things to work through or things, and sometimes if your spouse had an affair, you're just gonna have to work through that on your own because the relationship is done and you're not trying to salvage anything.
And there is absolutely a process of healing from infidelity, like on your own. Like you decide that is a no-go. That is the end of that relationship, but there is still healing that needs to take place. So when you say, the problems of the past need to be left in the past.
I mean between the couple.
Right, between the couple, but there's absolutely healing that needs to take place. And if you're in a place where you can have healthy conversations between the couple, like even if you are no longer a couple, absolutely have those healthy conversations. Heal in a safe place.
Yes.
And that safe place can be you with a therapist. That safe place can be you and having your partner involved to some extent. That safe place is not with your children.
Yeah. And incidentally, we have an entire Healing from Infidelity program, both for couples who are trying to work things out and for individuals who have moved on. Go to mendedlight.com, schedule a complimentary 15-minute consultation with one of our counselors. That said, when it comes to the kids, there's only one or maybe two scenarios that we'll talk about in a second where I could see it would be a positive to tell them your mother or your father had an affair, they cheated, and that's why the marriage is over. By and large, that would be, in my opinion, probably a vindictive thing to do. I want my children to like me more than the other partner, or to see that I'm not responsible for the marriage ending. It's their fault, not mine.
Or I want them to understand my pain.
Right. So maybe not even vindictive, but still like, it's still a selfish thing.
It's still, it's still about
And I don't,
you
and I don't
your
say that
needs.
judgmentally when I
Yeah.
say selfish, but it is, I'm focused on me and my needs instead
Yeah.
of, this is going to devastate the kids even further to know this
Yeah.
and make it hard for them to have a healthy relationship with a parent who, even if they weren't great as a spouse, are they a good parent?
Right.
Right?
Or do they at least try?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You know?
And I may think, well, my ex deserves for the children to think less of them. My ex deserves for the children to know all the crappy things they did. And that may be 100% true. Your ex may deserve that. But what do the kids deserve? The kids deserve peace, and they deserve to be loved by both parents. Now, if it's a case of where they're not going to have a relationship with that parent because they're abusive or there's a problem there,
Right.
like, or you know,
Abuse and neglect is
Right.
different, but the principle still holds true that you need to do what's best for the children. And sometimes that may be hard to figure out because
Yeah.
there's unhealthy dynamics there, and you say, I really don't know what's best for the children. And what's best for the children could change,
Yeah.
right?
So when do you think it would be healthy to tell the kids that
Yeah.
their parent had an affair and that's why the relationship isn't?
Yeah. So I would say in a circumstance where maybe there's a child that doesn't understand why the divorce is happening, and maybe they're blaming the parent
Who didn't cheat.
that didn't cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you try to redirect them in all the possible ways of like, hey, you know, there's dynamics you don't understand. There are things that happen that just aren't okay with me, and I need you to respect that. I
Yeah.
need you to know that both myself and, you know, if I'm saying it, your dad, but right, both myself and your other parent love you very deeply.
Yeah.
And even though a long-term marriage between the two of us isn't a fit, we're here for you, we're here to support you, and that's the most important thing.
And we'll be better without each
Yeah.
other. Like when we're not married, we're better parents for you. We're better individuals.
Some parents, when they're angry, they get along much better when they don't live together. They don't fight all the time, and they can become better people and much better mummies and daddies for you.
Like that type of conversation. And if the kid still doesn't get it, you try all the ways then.
Right. And in a very loving way, you know, with the other partner knowing, right?
Yeah.
Assuming, you know, some level of maturity and safe dynamics in the partnership, saying, hey, I need to tell you something. And I need you to know that your parents' behavior isn't a reflection on you or how much they love you.
Yeah.
But this is what happened. The other parent was unfaithful. And for me...
And depending on the child, explaining
Yeah.
what that even means.
Right.
Okay.
For me, that's a deal breaker in a marriage. I'm unwilling to stay in a marriage where a partner was unfaithful. And we talk about this in other videos dealing with infidelity, right? You absolutely have, you have the right to make any choice you want in any situation, right? We are the person in charge of our choices. But and for me, like, infidelity is a deal breaker. Like, there's no working through that. I
Yeah.
don't work through infidelity. Sorry.
We are so over.
But then there's other people where they do want to stay and they do want to work on their marriage, and I totally respect that, right?
Yeah.
And so
Everyone's got to choose what's right for them.
right. And so communicating to your child, like, hey, this was a boundary of mine and it was broken, and it's okay to have boundaries, and it's healthy to have boundaries. And so I need you to respect that I made this choice, and I didn't make it to hurt you. And I love you, and I'm here for you, and your other parent loves you and is here for you, and I know this is hard,
Yeah.
and we're working through it together, but I need you to know that we're on the same team, and I'm not the enemy.
And I can thank you for that. That was very profound. I don't know. Every circumstance is different, and you have to use your best judgment. But I will say that I don't think it's best as a general rule
Yeah.
to go ahead and just drop that bomb.
Well, and so many times when we're having a hard time making a difficult decision, it helps to ask ourselves questions,
Yeah.
right? And so if you're trying to decide what's the right thing for me and with my child and in my situation, I would ask the question, well, what would be the purpose?
Yeah.
For what purpose are you telling your child this? Adult child, minor child, what is the purpose?
Yeah. Is
Right?
it to make me feel better? Is it to make me look better? Is it so they know that this isn't my fault? Like, if that's the reason, it's not a good idea to tell them, right? Is it to get back at my spouse? Am I being honest? Whereas if you can answer honestly the question because it's the best thing for the child for this reason or that reason, or
Right.
then that's an appropriate path to take.
Right.
Now we've got a movie clip from Love Actually that we're gonna watch. This is it's the best storyline in that movie dramatically, not in the sense that it's happy, but just in the sense that it's Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson and they're crushing it. But he has had an affair with his secretary. He got her a necklace for Christmas that his wife discovered thought was for her. Realized that it wasn't. And the movie is kind of coy about just how far did he go with the secretary. We don't know. We know about as much as she does, but here's the scene.
Tell me, if you were in my position, what would you do?
What position is that?
Imagine your husband bought a gold necklace and come Christmas gave it to somebody else.
Karen.
I mean, would you wait around to find out if it...
Midnight.
No. Happy Christmas. Would you wait around to find out if it's just a necklace or if it's sex and a necklace or if, worst of all, it's a necklace and love? Would you stay, knowing life would always be a little bit worse? Or would you cut and run?
God. I am so in the wrong. A classic fool.
Yes, but you've also made a fool out of me. You've made the life I lead foolish too.
Darling!
So the reason I wanted to watch this clip is because this is a conversation that she keeps between them.
Right.
And then her daughter comes out of the school play. She says, "Darling," and then she goes and hugs her and said, "You did so wonderful." And I'm not suggesting that we always need to hide what we're feeling. There are definitely times when the kids have asked me or you, "Are you doing okay?" And we go, "Nope."
Not doing okay.
Not doing okay. I'm having a hard day. But that doesn't mean that your kid becomes your therapist or your kid becomes your pastor or your kid becomes the person that you open up to. I firmly believe that when it comes to your spouse or your ex-spouse, that unless there's a very strong reason not to, you always support the child's relationship with that person. And the grievances that you have can be aired out between you and that person, or you and a counselor, or you and friends and family, but it doesn't come to the kids. It's putting the kids in a position that they should never be in, right? Where they're looking after you that way. Like, it's okay if kids look after you. Like, when I'm sad, when we're sad, our daughter loves to draw us pictures and give us hugs. Like, that's fine. I'm talking about, let me tell you all my grown-up problems and expect you to do something about
Children
it.
care so deeply for their parents that they will very easily feel they will feel responsible for their emotions if they're put in that position, right?
Yeah.
I need to make my mom happy. I need to make sure she's taken care of, right?
Yeah.
It's called parentification. And it can so easily happen, right? So we want to be really careful to not put our children in the situation where they're responsible for things that children aren't responsible for, right? But also at the same time, we can teach them healthy emotional intelligence of being aware if someone's not okay, and giving them a hug and so on and so forth, and offering comfort, but they're not responsible, right? And the tragedy is that so often the example we see in the world around us, because of the hurt and the wounds in the marriage, is we don't see co-parenting playing out that way. And so it is so hard to set an example that you've never seen.
Yeah.
Right?
If you found this helpful, we invite you to check out What Effect Does a Parent's Infidelity Have on a Child? It's going to be the video that pops up at the end of this one. If you've been in this experience, let us know in the comments below. Did you tell your kids? Why or why not? Or would you? Why or not? What's up?
Well, and what's helped you? I mean, it's such a deep betrayal wound. What helped you in moving through that wound of betrayal and heal?
Yeah. So until next time, folks, keep shining because we need your light.